everybody to another edition of Historical Geocaching on the road with geocacher Tan Funbug from Chattanooga, Tennessee, who is currently travel caching in rainy Northern California. Except that the weatherman has said that it should not rain today, so that's very exciting. My family and I are driving down from Ukiah down to the Napa Valley. We're actually going to be in the same area where I shot my earth caching in California video earlier this year, but this time instead of checking out all the geology of the Napa Valley, we're going to be checking out all the historical locations of the Napa Valley. So that's very, very exciting. Going to be visiting Elmshaven and trying to search for the grave of John Loughborough. What's Elmshaven? Who's Loughborough? Watch this video to find out. And hey everybody, guess where we found ourselves today? Here in Calistoga, California. And what is Calistoga famous for? That's right, their water. And here we found an incredible structure here, kind of statue or really cool structure of a truck, a Calistoga mineral water truck. And there just happens to be a geocache here that we found. It almost couldn't find it. It was very well hidden, but dropped off a few trackables there, and there you can see my name, 2412 TN Photobug. But anyway, I'm going to have some more fun taking pictures of this truck, but it's a really cool location and a really cool spot. I'm really glad that there's a geocache here led me to it. Well, I just finished putting that cache away and got several pictures of myself with this really cool truck. Well, I think we're about done here. I think I'm going to make it into a waymark. That'd be really, really cool. The waymark. I do an open caching virtual, but there's a cache here, and you can't have an open caching virtual and a Grand Street cache at the same spot. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Got a geocache there, dropped off some trackables, some pictures. Hope you enjoyed seeing that really cool truck as well. Now on to Elmshaven. Elmshaven, folks. We'll be going up there shortly, but just want to give you a little background. Elmshaven was the home of a lady named Ellen White from 1900 to 1915, and if you don't know, Ellen White was one of the founders of the Seventh-Day Adventist Church, which started up in the mid-1800s. I'm a Seventh-Day Adventist, and I and other Seventh-Day Adventists believe that God gave Ellen White the special gift of prophecy, and that He gave her dreams and visions with special messages to tell God's people, the church. And God and Ellen White worked together for a long time in a lot of places all across the nation, even in Europe, and she also visited Australia. But in 1900 she came to live here in California. She bought Elmshaven and lived here until her death in 1915. But anyway, there's a little background for you, and let's go take a tour of Elmshaven. Walking up to Elmshaven, I can see it on my left. Sure is pretty up here. See the house from trees are in the way. You can see a little bit of it. And I forget if I told you, but I was a little kid and I lived here, or around this area. My mom was a docent here at Elmshaven. Used to give tours, and so I've been in Elmshaven years ago, like when I was a little kid, but I'm really excited to be able to go again when I can remember a lot more of it. Okay, we are now on the porch of Elmshaven. You can see some of the gardening out front there. We're going in soon, but I saw this plaque I thought I'd show you. It says Elmshaven, home of author Ellen G. Way. Yeah, I should tell you, she wrote a lot of books, really good books. Anyway, Elmshaven has been designated a National Historic Landmark, and this site possesses national significance in commemorating the history of the United States of America. This was done in 1993 by the National Park Service, which is a part of the United States Department of the Interior. Let's go check this out. And hey folks, we're now here at Elmshaven. Beautiful stained glass, original stained glass there. And here's a painting of Ms. White when she was 37. These are some of her books that she wrote. Different pictures, different like sanitariums and colleges she helped establish. Here's a guest book. And just a guy here who's historian, told us a lot of cool things. And a video about Elmshaven. This is, I'm pretty sure, an original organ that was here. This clock was built, I think, in the 1880s, and originally owned by Uriah Smith, who was the editor for a long time of the Adventist's very first newspaper, the Review and Herald. Here's this original, the chairs Mrs. White used to sit in, the Bible she would use for family worship every day. And fireplace here, which is also original. And these 9 books are the books that she wrote just while here in Elmshaven. And that's pretty good. She was I think I heard she was 72 when she moved here. And here's the dining room. Often she would have up to 15 people, I was told, at her table. They were visiting her. Looks like this is kitchen. Like they're working on Thanksgiving dinner there. And maybe a little bit more of the kitchen, I don't know. Definitely some beautiful plates. Let's see outside there. And here's like, I guess an ironing board. And a stove. Sorry, I don't know much. Certainly tell you all that I know. Another sink. Now, we're going to be very carefully, because I do have a disability and not good balance, go up these stairs to the second floor. This is kind of scary. here's a nice plaque. It says, "Live as though heaven is on earth." That's certainly Miss White lived. Very joyful person. Okay, we made it. Yay. Oh, and here, this is just very pretty. A very pretty California day today. Some books. It's definitely some that she wrote. Probably some that she had. Let's see here. Picture of Elmshaven in 1915, the year that Miss White died. This here is some of the people lived with her, some of her family. And here, it's a gorgeous corner. Let me back. I guess I backed out as much as I could. This is where Miss White would write, often getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning to write books. And I've read several of her books, excellent books. One of my favorite is called Desire of Ages, on the life of Christ, and it's available free online. I'll put a link in the video description, so you can read that if you want. Excellent book on life of Christ. But that is the writing board, the actual writing board that she would use, and I believe the actual chair as well. Our tour guide jokingly referred to that as Mrs. White's laptop. And another fireplace. And also, Miss White liked to get out a lot. Here's a picture of her and her aide Sarah McIntyre, I think, going out for a buggy ride. Miss White really liked going out for buggy rides. Looks like I'm going in here next. Oh, let's see what's here. This looks like a bathroom, I guess. Another beautiful view. It's a lot of fun. Oh, here, let me show you this. This is cool. Okay, here is several pictures of different Seventh-Day Adventist pioneers. On my left is John Byington and Joseph Bates and James White and Ellen White, John Loughborough and John Andrews. And I don't know much about John Byington, but I know that Joseph Bates was one of what's typically referred to as the 3 founders of Seventh-Day Adventist Church: Joseph Bates, and then James and Ellen White. Joseph Bates was a sea captain and heard of the Sabbath truth and just totally saw that was the right thing, and was ended up being one of the founders of the Seventh-Day Adventist Church. And James White, Ellen White's husband. They're all very young when they started, but they knew God had impressed them that was the right thing to do, and they were following Him. And John Loughborough here, he was he was a minister, and he was the very first Seventh-Day Adventist missionary, I guess you could call him, to California. And actually, on this trip today, we will be visiting his grave in St. Helena. There I'll tell you a little bit more about him. And then John Andrews here is, I believe, the person, if I'm not wrong, who John Loughborough heard this Sabbath message from. And John Andrews ended up being, with his 2 children, being the first Seventh-Day Adventist missionaries to Europe. And it looks like this is a room for one of the people who lived with Ellen White. And I heard in the video that everything in this room is original. She had lots of people to help her run the household because her husband James ended up dying early at age 60 in 1881. See, I don't know what this is, but another room here. It's some more books, a lot of them which she wrote. And here, her Ellen White's son Edson felt called to minister to the people, Seventh-Day Adventists, or to help convert people in the South to Seventh-Day Adventism. He built a boat called the Morning Star, and he sailed it across Lake Michigan, then down the Mississippi River, down. Oftentimes he stayed at Vicksburg there, and it was kind of like a missionary boat. Sorry, I don't know more. There's a picture of the White family, Ellen White, and then their son Willie, and James White, and then Edson White. Edson was the one who did the steamboat. More people with Ellen White and family. And here's a painting of the Morning Star steamboat. And here's a white family tree. Actually, what's really neat is our pastor at our church back in Tennessee, he is one of our pastors. He's related to Ellen White, which I think is pretty awesome. Typewriter. And two more pictures of Ellen White.
Yeah.
And I think this might be Ellen White's room. It's really cool because often angels would come to this very room and give her visions and messages for God's people, which is really neat to. I've heard these stories, grown up with these stories, but to actually be in these places where it actually happened is really awesome. Here's another picture of Ellen White and her. She's a little older, and her husband James when he was a little younger. But here's another picture, and here's the stained glass I showed you at the start, and that about concludes the tour. That was sure fun seeing Elmshaven. I hope you enjoyed it too, that little tour. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below this video. Right now, I thought I'd show you the little buggy house over here. This buggy here, which is really, really neat. And we're back on the road, folks. I hope you enjoyed that tour of Elmshaven. I will certainly put a link to the Elmshaven website in this video description if you would like to visit that Elmshaven yourself, something I definitely highly recommend. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me them in the comments on this video below. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna make Elmshaven into a waymark, both like in the Victorian house category and in the National Register of Historic Places category, so other people can find a waymark there. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy that tour, and we are now going on to St. Helena and in search of John Loughborough's grave. And hey everybody, we are now at the St. Helena Cemetery, and after a bit of looking we have found the grave of John Loughborough. But before I show that to you, I thought I'd give you a little bit of background history. John Loughborough was the very first Seventh-Day Adventist minister, kind of pioneer, to come and preach in California. First missionary to California, if you will. And also here he is his two wives, because I think they died really young, and also his baby is buried here. But he was a really neat guy. He worked with Ellen White and her husband James in starting up the Review and Herald in New York, and then later in Michigan. And then there was a guy named Merritt Kellogg came, I think in the 1850s. He was a Seventh-Day Adventist, came to live in California, and he told a lot of people about Christ, and a lot of interest was aroused, and so much that it was really it was good for a minister to come out here to California. So John Loughborough and another minister, I think D.T. Boru, I forget how to pronounce his name, came, answered the call, and came and worked with California. I've recently been reading a book about how John Loughborough and the spread of Seventh-Day Adventism in California. It's just amazing how God has led and how he works in people's lives. It's just amazing. But John Loughborough worked here in California for 10 years, and just God gave him a tremendous success. And then John Loughborough left to go work in Europe, and then in his later years he came back to California kind of to retire a little bit, and he was buried here. But here, let me show you the grave now. Here it is. Beautiful setting. It says John and for Norton Loughborough, 1832 to 1924. He was actually the last of the original Adventist pioneers to die. He was the first Seventh-day Adventist minister in California, and 1860, I think that's when he left California. I'm not quite sure. But his wife Maggie died, is buried here, who died March 24, 1875, and also his other wife Anna, who died here, died on May 31, 1907. Also, their baby is buried here. I know back in the 1800s when there wasn't so many medications, and so there often people didn't live for so long, and the survival rate of babies wasn't so much. But anyway, I'm really excited to actually be able to visit this site. Really liked John Loughborough for a long time. Thought what he did was neat, and it's really neat to actually visit the actual grave site of this incredible man who's the first Seventh-day Adventist minister in California. But so that's about it. I am definitely going to be creating a waymark here at the grave. Hopefully bring more people to see this incredible history. I hope you've enjoyed learning some Seventh-day Adventist history here in California. And I don't know if we'll be seeing anything else, but if we do, I will certainly let you know. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed seeing this. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Seventh-day Adventist history here in Northern California. And as I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer your questions. I'll also be posting any links I talked about in the video description below to the CALISTOGA truck cache, Elmshaven website, and anything else that I'm not remembering right now. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed learning this awesome history, and be sure to check out all my other videos where I try to show you more cool history. And this is Geocacher TN from the book signing out. I am indeed having a blast with the past.